which means we do our reorganization. So I would look for any motions or
I'll
nominate.
make a nomination, whatever you want to call it, for Matt to be chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Kate?
Kate,
Yeah, it's very hard to hear you guys, so please speak up.
there was a motion to make Matt chairman.
Hello?
Hello?
Good, I can hear you very well.
Okay, it was a motion to make Matt chairman, and it was seconded by me. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Got it.
So that is unanimous. All right, I am
So-
now handing the reins over.
You still have to stay, though. So I would like to thank Selectman Gagne for the year and change, right? It was over a year. You had to jump in, I think, when a previous chair had to back out for a while. So thank you for your service to the town as chair. Thanks for keeping us on target these past few months. So, and thank you to the board for nominating me. I don't get any more money for this, I found out, so, but I'll still do it. I would like to move to make Larry Foote vice chair, as he's been a selectman for 7 years and he's managed to avoid
Second the motion.
the vice chair. I would like to make it official and move to make him vice chair.
Did anyone hear that?
Yeah, and Kate seconded that motion.
Okay? I think so.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I'm the chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great.
Thank you.
It takes a while to remember. So I do, at some point, plan on going on vacation when it's safe to travel again, so remember that, Larry. So the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to entertain any motions regarding the non-public session. Maybe Lisa, you can,
I move that we just came out of non-public under 91A:3 subsection 2A, C, and L, and for the board to seal those minutes until such a time that it deems it is no longer necessary.
and can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Larry. Okay, any discussion? Kate just dropped. She just texted me that the call just dropped.
Yeah.
So, maybe we can at least do this. All in favor?
Aye.
So we have
Put it
at
on my
least
cell
4.
phone.
Yeah, do you mind? And we'll put the mic up to it. Let's do the cell, Larry's cell.
She dropped it, because she hung up on it.
Okay, give it another try, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Larry's trying her now.
If that's the same number as what, no, it's
don't
different
hang
number.
up on us.
I didn't, it just went blank.
Okay,
I vote aye.
what?
Vote aye.
All right, you're back on.
All right, Kate, how can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, just so you know, we just
Larry
had
should be
a...
vice, but I didn't get to say aye when you voted, so
Right, she
I'm
didn't.
eyeing.
Yes, you didn't. Okay, so just so you know, we had a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public that we just came out of. Are you okay with that?
Aye.
So we'll call that 5.
Second.
Okay. All right, excellent. So what I'd like to do is, we do have some other ex officio and POC stuff. Can I table that to the end of this meeting? Is the board okay with that?
Sure.
Seeing as we have some people here, we'll try to get to them first. So I know that, here's the deal, and I'll talk more about it in a couple minutes here, but we are, essentially the town's in a closed profile. So what the board, for those who didn't get the communication, what the board decided last night is we're going to still have these meetings as the town needs to be running. But what we want to do until further notice is we're going to table a lot of agenda items so that we can do the town's most urgent business and move along, and we don't have to keep this building open any more than it needs to be open. However, we do have some guests here tonight. I'd like to, which item is that, Diane?
Aye.
Item 5?
Aye.
Aye, sorry. I was like, you're saying 5. I'm like, we don't have numbers. So,
Want a new chairman already?
right, exactly. I'll get in the swing of things. So, for item I, we'd like to move ahead and take care of that one as our first tonight, so. Does anybody want to speak on that? Do we have anything in our files here to start with, or?
Be a letter.
Yep, you have 2 letters.
Okay.
You have the one that Mr. and Mrs. Lapierre sent to you,
Okay.
And then-
And the proposed response.
Read those, yeah.
yes.
Do you guys want to speak to this, or should we read the letter into the record, or?
Very hard to hear you.
Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do, just because we have Kate here can't hear, so I'm going to read this letter, if that's okay. So it's to the Board of Selectmen. It says, "Gentlemen, during the first snowstorm of the winter in November, my lawn," you can hear me, Kate, right?
Okay?
Kate?
Yes.
Okay.
I just heard the first snowstorm of the winter, and then it went
Perfect. In November, my lawn was badly damaged by the snowplow. I submitted a request to the town administrator that the damage be repaired at the appropriate time at the end of the snow season. The town administrator stated that she would pass the request to the road manager for resolution. To date, I have not received a reply to my request. Would you prefer that I have a landscaper repair the damage and submit the bill to the town for payment? Please look into this matter and provide a resolution. Sincerely, Mary Ann and Russell LaPierre. So, just as you stated, did you, question from me, did you have a quote or anything done like that yet? It's too early, right? Yeah.
Just saying they're not hearing at home.
Also, I will say that this was brought to my attention as the chair. And I did speak with the road agent regarding this matter. And he stated that the area that is damaged is within the town easement, which is 26 feet from the center line of the road. So since the damage is to the town easement, then he'll get to it when he gets to it, but there is no paying for a landscaper to repair that lawn.
So I think based on, you know, what I've seen happen before, as you've just described, normally, once the season's over, he'll send road crew out there with loam and rakes and stuff like that.
I agree, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I just found out about this late last week, so when your letter came in.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I would apologize to you on behalf of the town, because that's how it should work. It shouldn't be this long. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah,
Right, but
understood.
and this letter was dated March 9th, and like I said, I saw the letter last week, so it was put on the agenda for this meeting. Well, the road agent does fall under the authority of the Board of Selectmen, so feel free to carbon copy or send a copy of the letter to the Board of Selectmen as well. In the future. I'm saying, in the future, feel free to include a copy to the Board of Selectmen to keep us informed. Okay? Thank you.
So, basically is the sort of policy is he sends the road crew out to those areas as Lisa described. Once the spring has come, and hopefully it'll be a real spring, and real soon, I should say, and he'll rake it out and replace it with loam. At that point, if for some reason you're unsatisfied, please call the Selectmen's office and we can discuss it further to see what we can do. But this is unfortunately, it's just the way it is with plows. It's a common thing. So we've had a couple of people. Exactly, yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Just to be
Diane?
clear, that from the center of the line
Yep.
of the road, 26 feet, they do not own,
Right.
and that's where the damage was.
Yep.
Okay, that's where the damage was, so that's why.
A reply.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep,
and a
absolutely.
courtesy of a reply should have been done. Agreed. And we do apologize for that. And we had a reply ready for you for once the board approved signing the letter in response to you. But again, we couldn't do that until our meeting, which was tonight.
Yep. I don't think so. I don't think how it's commonly done. Yep. So let us know if anything changes or whatever, but we'll also follow up with him, and we'll hopefully get this worked out. So, thank you. Thanks. We won't make you stay. Thanks. All right, I'm going to go down the agenda. I want to come back to the COVID-19 stuff. I think that's the most important thing tonight. Fire rescue station sprinkler system, I think we need to table that. I think,
I don't have any update.
right, and I think the update he had talked about last time was he'd hopefully have numbers at this point. So he can certainly, Diane, if you can take this for the minutes, ask him to provide us that via email to the board.
Okay,
Okay, fire department, it's just a, PTO is looking to do a ride on a truck raffle. I think we can safely table that until much later. I don't find that as a essential
Yeah,
thing
and
to worry about
social
right now.
distancing might be a little difficult.
So we also had Butler Building, a little coordination of the space over there. I'd like to table that one. Transfer station, what is this? Baylor compactor review. This sounds like it might be something we need to address sooner rather than later. What's this one all about?
I guess Pete talked to Lisa about it.
Talk to Kate about this, I believe.
I just spoke to him on the phone before we came up. He said that he was told it would be on hold until the virus stuff is all taken care of.
So he didn't seem to be concerned?
No.
Okay, so we'll table that. Planning board election recount is Friday
At 11.
at 11. So here's the way I'll say it. This is a public recount. Anybody who wants to come and watch the recount can certainly come and watch the recount. However, as we're going to talk a little bit more about in a second, we are practicing social distancing. So unofficially, I would recommend people not come unless you have a stake in the recount. We have 2 candidates involved in the recount. We have to have a quorum of the Board of Selectmen. We'll have a quorum here. We'll have the moderator or moderator pro tem and and the town clerk, but we're trying to have the least amount of people in this room as possible in order to get through the recount legally. So that's on the calendar for Friday. Town property landscaping, can we table that?
One more thing, and as far as the recount is concerned, we will post the results of the recount as soon as we can after the recount. So anyone who's interested in the results will be able to find it on the website and likely on Facebook.
Sure, yep. Okay, so the landscaping, what is that, our new contract?
You have 3 things there. One of them has to be signed. It's just the revised contract
Yep,
that took away the 2 Amesbury Road, so he just updated the contract. So that just needs a chairman's signature. And just as you're aware, the contract is expiring at the end of this year, and I just needed to know if you want to go 1 or 3 years, and then I'll start working on getting all that paperwork together.
yep. So what does the board want to, do we
Is
want to
anybody
take?
talking?
Yep.
Yes,
I think you need to use a new phone for me. I hear you and then you disappear.
okay. Are you on microphone, Diane?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, people saying they're not hearing.
So Diane was just talking about the contract, so let me ask this. Can we table this one?
You can't, you need to sign the revised contract. And
Okay.
if you don't want the beach cleaned up in April, yeah, you can table it.
Right,
What's the revised one run to?
It's just, all it did was take away, he just updated the contract, he took away 2 Amesbury Road.
Okay.
That's all he
That's good
did.
till,
That's good till the end of the year.
which we're in that contract anyway.
Yes, it's
So,
just
yeah,
updating
So
it,
just sign that and we can table the new contract.
if you'd
fair
like.
to say?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, so was that a motion, Larry? It sounded like Larry
Yes, it
motioned
sounded
to
like a
sign.
motion.
Yep,
I'll second it.
okay.
So you move to have the chair sign the revised contract?
Correct.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah. Charlie second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Kate, did you
Kate?
catch that? What we did was we just updated the current contract to remove 2 Amesbury Road and add a spring cleanup.
No, you did
No,
that
no
as spring
adding.
cleanup.
No, we didn't add.
No.
We took out 2 Amesbury Road.
That's all you did.
That's it.
Good.
That's all
But we
you did.
replaced, because we still paid him.
No, you haven't paid him anything.
We haven't paid him anything
I
all
can't hear
year.
you.
No,
Something
yeah.
about 2 Amesbury Road. What is the vote again?
So this is,
You have
what are the dates on this contract then?
the, what I need tonight is if you want to sign the revised contract.
Right, I'm asking, what are the dates on this contract?
For
When
which,
did it start, when does it end?
it ends this year, in October 2020.
Okay, when did it start?
Which contract? The current
This-
one?
The one we just voted to sign.
That is the one you had all along, back in 2019.
So it's a 3-year contract?
18, yeah, 18.
So it's
Okay.
3-year.
So 2 Amesbury Road was still ours when this was going on, right? 2
You
Ames.
took it off last year.
Okay, so, and you know what, I don't even care anymore. I don't want to be talking about a landscaping contract right now.
Okay.
Okay, so we had a motion on the table, right, to sign this?
Yeah, and you have to do a roll call because Kate's on the phone.
Right, so roll call vote.
Aye.
Larry was an aye,
I'm an aye.
Charlie's
You
an
what?
aye. Lisa, this is to sign.
Aye.
Kate, are you okay? Do you understand what we're doing?
I'm going to abstain only because I cannot hear you.
Okay,
I hear every other word. The conference of yesterday, even though hard to hear, was easier to hear than this particular day for some reason.
okay, so you're not hearing me? I guess not. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we're moving off of landscaping. I, we already did. J, this one's quick. Does somebody want to do J? It's a motion.
I don't have an agenda.
I'll do it. Per RSA 3195B, to accept and expend unanticipated funds to the food pantry from Mr. James Marino in the amount of $50.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Okay.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye. I heard that.
Okay, Police Department, letter of delivery and acceptance for PCs, can we table that?
No,
Okay,
that has to be done.
what is this?
All you need to do is sign that we've gotten the equipment for the police station for the replacement, and then we can initiate the lease agreement.
Okay. And
So
we
that's the
have,
chairperson has to sign that.
okay, and we have to
And-
sign this.
Yes, and the chief confirmed that we did receive the delivery and it is okay to sign.
So I'll make a motion for the chair to sign the
Letter of delivery.
letter of acceptance of the computers for the police station.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great,
Aye.
thank you. So L is Town Hall, 1-year lease extension for server network switches and laptop.
That's basically the same thing. Kim and I talked with Armon, and we are just going to extend our lease for the server Nancy's laptop, and some switches.
Make a motion to accept Armand's.
And that's, again,
Lease.
just the chairman has to sign that.
Make a motion for the chairman to sign.
Thank you.
The lease for the laptops and the
And network switches and a server.
network
Yeah,
switches
it's
and
just an
servers from
extension.
Armand.
Okay.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Charlie's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, so then it was I'm going to backtrack to COVID-19. So here's a couple of things. I'm going to try to be brief with this because this is all anybody's talking about anyway. So what the residents have to understand is we, like everybody else, we're taking our direction from the federal government, then we take it from the state, and then we have our little town, we have a certain amount of local control. The main part of local control that we decided, was we needed to kind of follow suit. We needed to shut the town down. So buildings are closed. We are still operational in terms of police, fire, emergencies type stuff. That has not changed. Business at the town hall, the predominant amount of the business is going to be with the town clerk. I urge to go on the website, for you to go on the website. There's links. A lot of the stuff can be done electronically. If for some reason you can't do it online, she has put her phone number, email out there. You can leave a message. She'll try to do something by appointment. The main thing is that, like we said, if you have a problem, you're going to dial 911 if it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, we're talking about things like, I think most of us know what an emergency would be, but you know, you're bleeding, whatever. If you have flu-like symptoms, if you have flu-like symptoms, what you have to do is you have to let the 911 operator, know, so they can prepare. But the
we call
key thing
Larry?
is these are allergies, so everybody knows. But the main thing is, let me get this. If you have a COVID issue, there is a 211 number, correct?
Yep.
Additionally, you should call your healthcare provider. So, with that, we are going to limit our agendas in our meetings, for that matter, so that none of us have to be here any longer than necessary to run the town. We ask that people not, it's totally your right to attend the meetings, but we're going to ask people not to. We're on channel 20. If you need to email us in advance, if you need to call us, you can certainly do that. Like I said, if you do feel you need to come in person, the door will be open. You can come in person, but until further notice, we'd prefer if people did not. We are going to have regular updates, or try to have regular updates, as we're meeting with EMD and the state, and obviously the chiefs are involved. If there's anything changed, we'll communicate that. The thing you have to remember is, if you do need help, we're here. I've heard it said many times, there's a reason why we all live in Newton. It's because it's a town where we have neighbors, and usually the neighbors look out for each other. We're hoping that happens during this whole thing. If you have senior, elderly neighbors, please check in with them if you can. If for some reason you need help and you think we can help at the town hall, call the numbers. We'll be checking voicemail. We'll try to help. Unique circumstances might call for unique answers. So,
Can I just add on to that?
yep, go for
Is
it.
the Alert Now form on the website?
Yes, as of today.
There was some questions on Facebook,
Right,
okay.
it-
Yep.
as of today,
A
I
lot
just
of
put
them
it,
didn't get it, so they can fill that out. And where does that go, to you?
not anymore.
We-
It goes to you.
We're having them email it to you, so you
Okay.
can give it to your daughter.
Okay, can you add Trish's name to that too? I mean, her email? No?
Oh, sure. You'll be the one.
That way we'll have 3 people input it. If it's not a problem, if it's a problem, I can
Yep.
forward it to her.
You'll have to forward it because
And Mary Jo has already posted it on Facebook as well.
Okay. Yeah, I know she posted, but I wasn't sure if the form was on.
No, Mary Jo posted the link to the form on the website.
Like I said, I didn't know the form was on the website, that's why I asked.
I did this afternoon.
You did, so it wasn't on.
No,
Okay,
it was
thank
not.
you.
Yes.
I'll forward it to you. All right, thank you.
So hopefully this kind of shutdown profile won't last very long, but we'll all get through it. Everybody in the country, in the world is doing this, so we're not unusual here in
We went
Newton.
from 17 to 26 cases in one day. This may take a while.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. What I would like to bring up, and I'll give Selectman Gagne the floor on this one. We had a meeting last night, we had a public meeting, we voted on a few things, and one of them was, let's just face it, and with apologies to some people in town, construction is being shut down across the country. So the board voted last night to not issue any more building permits or fire permits related to building, right? Is that a fair? So just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I spoke to the building inspector after our call, after our meeting. As you know, he was not here to provide his input to the board like some of the other department heads were.
But he was invited,
So,
He
that
was invited.
I don't know.
correct? Department heads were invited.
Yeah,
So,
you're invited.
Yep.
Yeah, so, however, he may not have been able to make it, I didn't ask. Now, the reason for the no permits being issued is because town hall is closed and we do not want handling of money. Those were the 2 reasons that we provided.
yeah, one of the reasons. yeah.
Sorry, I can
Or
hear
2 of the
Matt, but I
reasons.
can't hear Lisa.
Okay. Could you speak louder?
Okay, so 2 of the reasons that the board voted to issue no permits was because of the town hall being closed and the handling of money.
Yeah.
Okay? The building inspector had some thoughts as to how he could handle it to fall in line with those directives and still be able to support the townspeople or developers. Some of the inspections are done, especially with the new builds, nobody's even there. So social distancing isn't a problem. Some of the other things, another one of the things that he suggested is that with the well-known developers that the town deals with on a regular basis that are trusted, they could actually work out some sort of arrangement where most of it is done via email, forms, pictures, et cetera, and then they would be trusted to pay for the permit at a later date when the ban is lifted. Now, the building inspectors for the permit fees, they get paid out of the permit fees. So it would be in their best interest to collect permit fees and not to just allow them out arbitrarily. So,
You just want to grab a mic or talk
Yeah,
loud?
there's no mic. So, so you're saying that let me try to put this. So he didn't agree with our assessment of the situation and our vote, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying he had an alternative that we had not discussed, we had
Yeah.
not agreed with,
Yeah,
and the board needs to hear it out and decide whether or not we want to allow that.
okay.
I
Has
think
he
in cases
issued,
of hardship, he could make the call.
I mean, there are some permits that had been recently issued that inspections will need to be done
before
for.
last night?
Yes.
You're saying? Yeah.
Correct.
I think the reason that Chief's standing up there is because you're talking about a left hand, and I think there's a right hand, the other permits that,
Not only did the board discuss this yesterday, the board didn't mention the safety of its employees and the safety of the public doing these inspections. If building opens up, then fire has to open up. I can tell you this, the fire department does not enter no one's residence unless there's a human being there. Okay? and today on social media is totally useless. That means the fire department has to open.
Building is not going to open. Town hall is still
If
going to be
building is gonna
closed.
go out and do permits, fire works in conjunction with permits, with building. If somebody turns in a propane permit, fire has to inspect that propane tank first before it goes to building. So that means fire has to open back up after we just put it on social media, and the town put it on social media, that the town is closed, nothing's happening for 2 weeks. So now I gotta look like a fool and tell these contractors that wanted to pull permits, sorry, the Board of Selectmen decided in 24 hours to change their decision.
Please don't refer to the Board of
No.
Selectmen.
We had this discussion before the election, I'm gonna stand here again. There's 5 of yous.
And if
on
we
the
do
phone.
make the decision, it is the board. We haven't made a
We didn't
decision
make
yet.
that decision. That decision was
So-
made by one individual last night.
There has been no decisions made.
What was sent out today?
So can I jump in here?
Yeah, the way it
think
was
I'm the
sent out
chair.
today was
Right,
it-
I'm still
two
the chair.
individuals talking.
So here's the, I'm gonna kind of cut to the chase here. So we made a decision last night, it was in the minutes, that we were, and granted, Lisa pointed out 2 of the reasons. I don't know if it was discussed, but I do know there was some interaction by a 3rd reason was basically that construction's being shut down all over the place. It's not just here.
Right.
So I think the intention was, we're going to, for the 2 reasons you brought up, and the fact that construction is shutting down, that we're gonna not issue any permits. The thing about it is, and we all have to get this straight, okay? Like I said, unusual circumstances, crisis situation. When the board makes a decision, the board has to stick with it until the board gets back together and the board votes to change anything, okay? Because we had the fire chief, I think you were at the chiefs meeting, right?
Yes.
So all the Seacoast chiefs, I think?
Yes.
And they're all doing the same thing, you're saying your town is following suit. So unless there's anybody here right now who wants to make a motion to change what we decided last night, I think we need to stick with it. Anybody?
All right, I want to stick with what we said last night.
Okay.
All right, so clarification as well. Since the vote was for no permits will be issued, we also need to clarify whether or not there will be any
And I couldn't hear that
inspections.
last sentence.
With all due respect, they go hand in hand.
But there are permits already issued. So the question is, there are outstanding permits that will require inspections. Are those inspections also on? I want to make sure that we are very clear to the building department that, yes, there may be open permits, and we're not issuing any new permits, but the board is saying that we also do not want them doing any inspections.
So I think what we need to see as a board is who those people are, addresses, whatever. So we need to have that information to make the decision, because as I've said it 100 times tonight, we're shutting everything down. But if there's somebody that was in midstream,
If it's an emergency, a boiler goes
Emergency,
out and they need a boiler.
Charlie, I think, said,
He brought up the article, I believe it's Article
Yeah.
14, somebody needs a closing.
yeah,
Again, extreme circumstances. I brought up that I had open permits.
yeah.
We went out and did all the open permits today. Propane's a little different because there's no human beings there.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna start opening it up to article for home inspections, walkthroughs, life safety inspections, all this other stuff, the board has to, all I'm saying is the board has to make a decision and stick with it.
Yes.
And not only is it the board, and again, I know Matt's brought it up, and it was brought up yesterday when we had a 1033 discussion. You gotta also think of the safety of your employees
Yeah.
and
Correct.
the safety of the general public with your employees going to these residents. So it's not just pull a permit. A propane tank, unless it's an underground tank, can wait. There's stuff that can wait. All I'm saying from my half is for the board, and I've said this in public a million times, please, make a decision and stick with it.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm tired of looking like a fool.
Yep.
Make a decision and stick with it.
So I think we made a decision, and I think we're sticking with it. Now, if there's certain cases, then building department needs to bring it to our attention, and then when we meet, we can determine what we're gonna do, I think is what it is. Do people agree with that?
I agree with that.
There might be specific,
All right,
Can I just
but
ask a
then
question?
wouldn't the
you
fire
hear me?
department have to do
Yep,
the
we
same
can
thing
hear
with
you.
the fire permits?
absolutely.
She wants to
know
ask a
that, let's
question.
say the building inspector, wait, I can't hear anything
Go ahead.
there. Just so the people in the community know, if there's a severe emergency and someone's roof collapses, right, this doesn't mean they can't, can they get their roof repaired? If in these kind of instances, they would come to us. In these extreme instances, should this ever, probably won't occur, but if it did, is that correct?
Yeah, so with all due respect to everyone in the room, I don't want to turn this into a hypothetical
again.
journey through all the what could possibly happen.
And
Crisis, let me finish. Crisis situation, we need to stick with these decisions. So here's the thing. Fire shouldn't be giving out any permits, okay? We've decided that. Building shouldn't be giving out any permits. If for some reason fire and/or building has a specific situation they think it should be lifted for, then they should come to the board, okay?
Yeah,
So
I
they put it on the agenda. They're gonna be very small agendas. Put it on the agenda, and we can vote on it and decide what we're gonna do.
Sounds good.
But didn't we decide last night that it was going to be left up to the chief and the inspector if it was an emergency or whatever that situation would be?
Just what Matt said.
The motion to you.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if it was in the motion, but I know it was in the discussion. Is it in the motion?
Yeah.
All right.
Lisa,
Yes, please.
Lisa, Matt just said that.
Yeah, well, I know what she's saying. Have Diane read
Who's
it
gonna
back.
make the determination?
All right,
of
Diane,
emergency?
hold on, Diane's going to read that motion back.
Should be the department heads.
This is what the motion was that was made last night, according to the minutes. Selectman Burrow moved to suspend issuing new permits for both the fire and building departments unless an emergency situation exists. Both departments will work together in determining if the permit needed is an emergency. It was seconded by Selectman Melvin with a unanimous roll call vote.
All right, which means it's not coming in front of the board.
So I stand corrected in that aspect.
Again, no permits are to be issued.
Right, but
Right,
if Mr. and
unless
Mrs. Jones
you and the
bylaw-
inspector determine that it's an emergency and needs to be done. So the two of you would work together.
And what I'm saying, standing here, there is no permits the fire department's going to issue that's going to constitute an emergency, unless somebody's oil burner,
Correct.
blows
That's an
up.
emergency.
Right, see, there's an unless.
okay? But a regular smoke inspection,
No.
a propane tank, doesn't. So as long as we're all on the same page, because that's what I got out of this yesterday, no new
Me too.
permits are going to be issued.
Yep.
Yep.
So, and let's be clear, unusual circumstances, we're gonna have to make this up as we go along. We all wanna be on the same page, so we don't send anybody out doing the wrong thing and, egg on their face or whatever. But still, I said it in the meeting last night, we live 2 weeks for every 24 hours. Like, right now, the world looks one way, it's gonna look different tomorrow. That's how this is working. So,
And I still need a definitive answer to the question about inspections for permits that have already been issued. Are we postponing or stopping any inspections? And then if it's just permit inspections, or what about code enforcement? Are we stopping all code enforcement inspections until this is over?
That's what that paragraph just said.
No, it isn't. It only spoke about permits, not about inspections or site visits or anything to
In order
that
to do
effect.
inspection, you have to have a permit.
But permits have already been issued prior to the
And then
shutdown.
we decided that if it's a closing that's gonna interfere with the bank, we would go out and do it. And again, he said 5 minutes ago, if it's just a propane tank, that can wait the 2 weeks.
So I would like to append
If there's gonna be any
my,
hardship on the family or the homeowner, because there is a couple houses in town that are like 90% built, and we don't wanna make them suffer by not giving them the occupancy permit, we'll go out and do it.
so I would like to amend my motion and include inspections,
Is that correct,
the
Chief?
word inspections in my
Comfortable
motion.
with that assessment?
So we're gonna go do
Can,
inspection?
I don't think we can
No.
amend the
Only
motion. I think we
if
need
it's
a
a
new emotion
movable
because
and
that was
95%
yesterday's.
done.
You know my original motion? So I'm making that motion, I'm putting the word inspections in there tonight,
And I'll second it.
okay?
Or they can't close.
All right, and that's to include code enforcement inspections as well, correct?
Oh, yes.
Everything.
I'm just making
All-
sure.
So we can put the word all in there.
Way down.
They can't hear anyway.
Okay,
That doesn't
I don't know
work.
what the motion is.
So the motion on the floor is, Selectman Rowe moved to suspend issuing, well, not issuing, because you're not, moved to suspend inspections for both fire and building departments unless an emergency situation exists. Both departments will work together in determining if the inspection is needed and is an emergency, I guess. I'll word it like that.
Yeah, so what you read is tonight's motion, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
switched out permit.
exactly, yeah. So last night's motion will stand with the permits, all permits. Tonight we'll add all inspections, okay? And, you know, and this is the discussion, second for discussion, anybody?
Charlie seconded it.
Did, okay. So we just need to use our heads with this stuff, okay? So if somebody like Larry said, if there's a hardship, then let's try to work through it as department heads. If not, you can come back to us.
That's what the board voted on yesterday.
Yeah.
Charlie brought it up.
Yeah.
If it's a hardship,
Yeah.
that's a whole different ballpark.
Yeah.
So
Right, but hardship and emergency are two different things, and the motion only says emergencies, doesn't say hardships,
Yeah.
neither one.
So let's say both in the motion,
So you happy with that?
hardships and
We good?
emergencies.
All right, can we have the all aye?
Emergency or hardship.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And in that case, it's emergency or hardship for the inspections and permits, correct?
I think we all know what we're trying to,
Yes,
do
but I'm being accused
Thing
of
with it is-
making decisions. I
absolutely.
want to make sure that you know,
There was no hardship for a permit.
yeah,
There's none.
probably not,
No hardship for a permit.
probably not.
Not a new one.
Yep.
okay.
Unless the boiler goes out, but that falls under the inspection,
Yep.
and they're gonna get a permit
Did I
anyway.
do this yet? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Kate?
Kate?
Man,
Kate?
you're starting the year off bad. Kate fell asleep.
Aye,
No, she's there. Okay. So in terms of the COVID-19 response, any questions hanging out there?
Trish, you have anything new today?
I have one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Payment of town employees who cannot work
Yeah.
as a result. We do have a few. Now, there are some that are fine, they can work from home, there are others that cannot.
So they're,
Also, for example, our,
looking up something while you talk.
all right, I'm thinking of the permit clerk who won't be issuing permits. We have the inspectors who won't be doing inspections. We have, I believe our deputy tax collector won't be able to put in as many hours as she typically does because she's limited if there's anything she can do at home. So we need to address how we're going to handle them getting paid. Are we going to continue to pay them the regular hours that they would normally work? Or what are we going to do as a board?
So I think, I think I read the school is paying people. I do know that in some of these folks have been on all these calls. I do know that the governor is working on something. I don't know if the state legislature is not in session, so I'm sure they're going to be a part of that. So I think we need people filling out time cards and filing time cards at this point.
And how are we gonna fill them out and file them?
Do we have an online form for time
Oh,
cards?
Who's
Some
got
of us
the,
do.
the lead person.
You think you need
I'd
people
like to have
what?
that answer.
So that's,
There has to
Larry,
be-
are you asking the question?
I'm
Because
asking a question.
our job is to figure stuff out like that. So if that's the question, let's figure it out as a board,
All right, so you
okay?
have to,
Yeah.
we're gonna pay them to stay home.
Yep.
On a time slip, you just need to write Corona. You need to keep all this separate.
Yep.
Kim needs to keep it separate in case we get the refund.
So, you said some people have
Well, we have
electronic
some-
time
We have
cards.
some employees that do not have access to a computer, so they only have paper. So they will just submit paper.
That's fine, like how they do it now, right?
There are some of us do have it electronically, and we can just submit it electronically.
But you can write down like where it says Monday through Friday, shut down.
Yeah, you can, yes,
Corona in the
electronically,
comments
yeah,
and how many hours we paid them.
Yeah.
okay.
And we gotta keep track of that. Hopefully we get the 75.
Yeah, I mean, we still have a mail slot, right, that people can put stuff
Yeah.
in?
Yep, they can.
And
right
you guys
outside
are
my
gonna
door.
periodically
In,
check.
Yep.
and those who can work from home are expected to do so and to put in as many hours as they can
Yep,
working.
yep.
And we
So-
need to keep separate lists of expenditures, like the cleaning company that came today, we need that listed under Corona. Everything has to be
Right,
under Corona.
right. So I think what I'd like to see maybe next time we get together is the list of the employees that fall into this category. Because off the top of my head, I can think of like two, we don't have to name names, but I can think of like two employees that would fall into the whole, they have set hours, but they cannot work from home, and they cannot be provided work to take home. So, you know, so yeah, that's what I mean, is
But the
there's a couple
library
more.
takes care of the library. They have their,
But if I'm the one that's collecting all those sheets, they still have to write it out, time card,
Yes.
Library does too, absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just saying that the Board of Selectmen cannot direct the library to do something, but perhaps the EMD can ask them to do so,
Can you talk to Terry?
Yeah.
okay?
So all for the file, as Larry
right?
said.
I think the bookkeeper needs to have timesheets, whether they're just filled in as
Oh,
being...
we're already saying everyone's going to fill out a timesheet.
Dina's gonna
So
require it.
can I ask a question? If you're working at home and you're only putting in 30 hours because there's nothing else you can do unless you're here, do they get paid for 40 or only for 30?
That was part of my question, was,
Not gonna lose,
so if they're normally a 40-hour employee or a 36-hour employee, and they can only, let's say 36-hour employee, they can only work 10 hours, then the town will pay them for the 26 hours that they couldn't work.
Okay, okay.
That is what we are agreeing to, correct?
That's what
It
needs,
takes-
So, and then what's gonna happen is, unfortunately, if this goes on a long time.
you can reassess.
Yeah.
But that's what
But hopefully, the governor or the state will have come up with a more long-term solution if that occurs, because I know they're already looking into things that they can do, but for right now, there's nothing out there, so if we don't pay our employees, they're not going to have a paycheck.
And that's what the bookkeeper needs clarity on, so there's no guessing. She doesn't want to be in the business of guessing who's
so
getting
whatever they're
paid what.
assigned, the regular hours, that's what we gotta pay.
Right, but I'm just
So-
saying the
So
motion.
somebody needs to make a motion and something hopefully,
I wanna make a
Clear.
motion to pay any employee that the town has closed their working space and that are working at home for the amount of time that they were hired for, they will get paid for it and receive a check. And on their pay stub, it needs to be still filled out as a shutdown due to Corona with the amount of hours and submitted weekly or bi-weekly,
I
however they
cannot
do it.
hear.
Do we want that all as
I
part
don't know
of
if
the
people
motion?
hear me.
Yes, because if somebody doesn't sign it, somebody doesn't put Corona,
We're gonna need a better
But
system
do we
if I'm gonna
want-
be calling in.
2 timesheets, for example, one for the actual hours worked and one for the corona?
Keep it
Or-
keep it all
okay,
on
I'm just
one.
asking.
pay slip.
Okay.
okay, so we gotta do a read back for Kate. She didn't hear any of that. So-
Yeah,
I literally won't be
That
able
way I
to
can make
hear
sure
you.
you
I'm
have
gonna
it.
have to abstain
I
coming
doubt
up,
she
'cause
wrote it
I'll
all
hear
down
one
well.
word and then nothing for quite a while.
Okay, Kate, can you hear me? So we're gonna make a motion, I make a motion to pay any employee that the town shut down their workspace for the amount of time that the town hired them for. And those that are working at home, we will make up the difference. If they're working for 30 and they're scheduled for 40, we'll make up that 10 hours. All employees are to fill out the biweekly pay slip, Monday to Friday, saying shut down due to coronavirus or COVID-19. And then the amount of hours, and they sign the bottom and submit it to the bookkeeper. So the town will pay their salary, and hopefully at the end of all this, we will be able to get refunded the 75%. Without good documentation, we're not gonna get the money.
So you want that in the motion? So
Right.
without good documentation, we won't get the
You
money?
got the period in
Just
there,
letting you
right?
guys know. Without-
Well, no, but you're making a motion. Do you want
Okay,
that
so
in your
you leave that
motion?
out, but without good
Anybody, you want to second
documentation.
that?
I'll second it.
Charlie just seconded that.
Now,
So-
You're done,
for-
Larry.
as a friendly amendment, do you want to put a time frame, like visit it in 2 weeks and see where we're at?
You guys vote
Or
last
3 weeks? I think everybody's
Last,
going
last
3
night, we were
weeks.
doing until further notice, because every time I turn on the TV, somebody has a date, and then they keep
Well,
pushing it
the
out.
thing with that is that you can't, well, I like to further notice, because you can't say, just 2 weeks, we're gonna pay you, but we'll visit you in 2 weeks.
Well, I
You
think,
really can't change
I
it.
think the board needs to have a handle on what's going on, that's all.
So,
But it's
can we
not
do it like
something-
this? So our next meeting is April 7th?
I think so, yeah.
Can we say to be reevaluated?
Right.
Yeah.
April
You
21st?
have to wait till the state
Well,
lifts.
I think the library and the school was going to like the April 5th or whatever.
Right, so we're gonna follow the state guidelines. When they lift it, then yeah, everybody's back to work. There's no way an employee could
We're set
abuse
by the
this,
10th.
Right.
because it's all out in the open, and
Yeah,
if
maybe.
school starts April 6th, and you know what, you're coming back to work April 6th.
Mm-hmm,
But we can't allow them to stay home this week and change up next meeting, so we're
Right.
meeting next week and say you're going back to work
Well,
now.
I just want to make sure the
Without any
board's
changes.
aware of what's
So
going on.
what's the date we're gonna add?
I like to
I
give
would
them
say the
notice.
day of our next meeting.
We're gonna do April 6th, like the state is on the April 6th
I think
kick
that's
now.
what the library used, was around the 5th or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Yeah, but our meeting is on the 7th,
We can do the
We do
7th.
so I'm
Our
think,
meeting's the 7th?
right? So I think we should go to the 7th, our meeting.
And
Sounds
then
good to me.
reevaluate.
Everybody
good
good with
Yeah.
that?
I'm good with it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so, translation, if we sent you home, fill out your time card, mark it Corona, make sure we're getting them in the mail slot or handed off. So,
Yes.
Trish?
Could I just request that Kim makes a copy for EMD so that I can keep my log of expenses?
Yes,
So every time card comes in?
yep,
Okay, perfect.
She should start a folder for all the Corona stuff.
yep.
Yep, thanks.
All right, anything else on Corona? All right, so just so the public knows, we're going to have regular meetings with all the key stakeholders and send out updates as necessary. Our next meeting, as we just talked about, is April 7th.
Isn't this a fluid situation as well, depending on what we're told by the governor?
It is, hopefully, so far the governor isn't messing with local bodies, but who knows, everything changes. We could actually not be allowed to
Very
meet.
rapidly.
So,
As I mentioned, our cases have doubled in one day. It may not be in the public's best interest to have people come to town hall if they can't practice 6-foot distancing.
yeah. So, I'll say it again. You're welcome to come to our meetings, but please don't. Channel 20 Comcast. There'll be in a relative amount of time, you'll be able to watch the video if you have satellite or something like that.
We have 3 for Friday? Lisa, you're gonna be there, Charlie and me?
I will be there.
I'll be here.
Oh, okay, so we'll
Yeah,
have
so
4.
we'll have plenty.
Okay.
Kate will not be there on Friday, please. So, anything else?
Another thing, just so that you know, at noon, the call tomorrow, which I'll cover with all of you at 6 tomorrow night, as long as somebody gives me the number of to connect with you.
I would like to call in, but I need a better system than this.
It's all about restaurants too, restaurants and bars, as
Yep.
we talked about, so I'll fill you in tomorrow night.
Okay, so Kate, Trish was just saying, she has a meeting, when is that meeting, noon time? So the noon meeting, she'll fill us in tomorrow night on that one. So,
Okay, great.
great, so,
Thank you. Again, the other system worked better, because I just hear one sentence and then you disappear.
yeah, I think we need a better solution, but we'll figure it
Yeah, I
out.
want to make a motion to make Kate come to these meetings.
Not just,
Nope,
not
can't,
just yet.
can't.
All right, so Corona, we're done for tonight anyway. I'm going to move on to the agenda. So manifests, and so the manifests are, they're on that list,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, do you want to do the first one?
I'd like to make a motion that we pay the manifest for March 17th, 2020, in the amount of $143,868.65.
Second.
Seconded by Larry, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sign the vendor manifest dated March 17th, 2020, in the amount of $30,465.46.
Second.
Seconded by Larry, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sign the cable revolving fund manifest dated March 17th, 2020, in the amount of $6,578.42.
Second.
Seconded by Larry, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Sign the manifest.
We'll share the joy. Won't make you do them all.
I move to sign the payroll manifest for pay period March 1 through 14, 2020, with the pay date of March 19, 2020.
Second.
Seconded by Larry, all in favor?
Aye.
You want to do the?
I move to sign the Veterans Tax Credit for Tax Map 13-3-11-12 for tax year 2020.
Second.
Seconded by Larry, all in favor?
Aye.
You want to give Larry the appointments?
Which one are the last two?
The appointments.
Last three.
I'd like to sign appointment to the Recreation Commission for Richard Falconer.
Falconer.
Faulkner. Term to expire April 30th, 2023.
Second.
Aye.
All in,
Wait a minute.
all in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to sign appointment to Rec Commission for Margaret Connors. Term to expire April 30, 2023.
Second.
Seconded by Charlie, all in
Suggestion,
favor?
they really should be staggered. They shouldn't all be expiring the same year.
Are they?
Yeah.
'Cause I
All
wasn't,
three of them are, yes.
I wasn't at the meeting, so
And I don't, well,
3-year terms.
let's
This-
do,
there's a town report up here.
Yeah,
We can look, but we can adjust it.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but
they should-
Recreation should be
Yeah, they
giving
should
us
all be
the
staggered.
termination.
So they're not going to meet for a while, but,
What if we did one for 2 and one for 2 for 3 or something like
yeah, you
that?
want to make that on the fly, Larry?
On which one?
You did the first one. Faulkner is the chairman, going to be chairman, right?
Yep.
So leave him at 2023 and maybe do the other 2 for 2022 or something.
2022. So sign appointment, make a motion to sign appointment to Recreation Commission for Margaret Connors. Term to expire April 30th, 2022.
Is there a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And make a motion to sign appointment to Rec Commission for Vanessa Burrell as an alternate member. Term to expire April 30th, 2022.
Yep.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye.
All right, was there another one? That's it, right?
That's it.
So the only thing is, we're signing these, the dates, can you update the dates?
No,
Yeah.
if you sign them, I can't update them.
Okay, so no need to sign them
Are
at this
they
point.
on your
We
computer?
can sign
We can
later.
print them out again?
We can sign later, I guess.
Well, they can't come in and get sworn in anyways, but that means you'll have to just come in and sign them at some time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah, okay. And they're not gonna meet for, you know,
They can't get sworn in, so it doesn't.
right.
Well,
So,
fine.
any announcements, other than we've had a whole slew of announcements?
Just the,
Oh.
Kate, did
Can I
you have an
mention something?
announcement?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Hello?
Go ahead, Kate.
Yes, I can hear things. So the transfer station is going to be making the decision that people dispose of their cardboard in the garbage container direct, rather than having them handle it.
What a wait.
I heard that was
That's a lot of
texted,
weight.
talked to me before
Kate,
the meeting
that's a
saying
lot of
he
weight
was-
that we're
because we
going to
gave
be
him the
paying
ability to
for.
make that executive decision for the safety of the employees. They were very concerned about it, and considering it doesn't have any real cost impact on us to do that for right now, that's what he's doing. I think the townspeople might want to know that.
So we need to discuss that. I don't think that's a decision they should be making.
Yeah, I don't know the whole
And-
story.
And the
I think that
board
when we
didn't
went and
make that
had our
decision
meeting
last
The other
night.
day, as I recall, if we look at the minutes, we made things and we said then certain things would be left to his discretion, as I recall. But I told him to get in touch, but that's the decision he wants to make.
So he needs to
Because the guys
come,
are very hesitant to be handling all that.
yeah, I think he needs to come to the board with that.
We discussed the handling of cardboard and the fact that cardboard and paper would still be left at the shack. That was a specific conversation that we had
Is that
about
broken?
transfer station.
Is it broken now?
No.
No,
'Cause it
it's,
wasn't open today.
it's basically, they should wear gloves.
Yes, they have gloves,
So-
but they are
Doing
running
regular
low on
trash
gloves.
today.
And they also want to know where to get cleaning supplies, which are very hard to find, and I told them to get in touch with Larry and the emergency management people who might know more about that,
What is she saying?
how the state is handling that.
So they want cleaning supplies, Larry, I think you ordered a bunch of stuff? Was that
Well,
what
we
you-
put an invoice.
Who knows when we get it?
I can't hear you.
I
What?
would suggest that Larry maybe
She
discuss
said,
it with
who-
him
who
for
knows
safety
when we'll
issues,
get
since
it.
he's more in contact with,
Oh.
or whoever, or Trish,
The only order we
with
put
the
in was for the
decisions
fire
coming
department. I
from,
don't know what we ordered.
recommendations of those kind.
Right.
Needs to stop talking.
So can we do this? Can,
If you can give me a list, I'm sure we can go
yeah,
get it.
can Nancy get a list from Pete maybe and give it to Larry, and Larry will try to,
The police chief did get,
Can't hear anything.
I forget how many, 3 boxes of masks that'll last. We checked into it, I guess they can wear 1 mask for the day, and they have to throw it away.
But you know that's only a myth,
What?
of wearing the mask. It doesn't do anything.
Well, the board said last night they needed to wear a mask.
Well, again, it's a myth. You don't need to.
Well, then you talk to them.
Well, I am talking to them.
Well,
I
You,
mean,
you didn't say anything last night, Larry.
right.
because we were going in and out. I probably didn't hear that part.
so,
Am I correct on saying that?
so my,
Mask,
my,
right? Doesn't
my
do
opinion
anything?
is if an employee asks us for a mask,
Oh, absolutely.
then we should get them one.
But we shouldn't force them to wear
No,
them.
no.
Because you don't need to.
But you're saying they have to wear gloves. What's the difference?
Just so you know, I
It's a
can't
surface
hear anything
virus.
that's going on, but maybe
That's
you'll
why.
let me know
They could
later.
be close to somebody, too.
Maybe
So
we're
anyway,
close to
the
somebody.
police chief got masks. Those were given to Pete tonight. You guys decide what you want to do.
Okay, so, Chief?
Just quick, if the board wishes, I'm sure Trish can send the board the latest state guidelines on safety precautions, just like we receive, which talks about your 6-foot distance, when to wear a mask, when to wear gloves, when to wear a gown, the whole thing. That might help out the board a little bit in giving the board some guidance. And other
Yeah,
town
definitely.
employees some guidance.
Definitely.
Yeah, they don't have masks, and they're concerned about that.
They don't?
They got them tonight.
That's
Okay.
what I was told. They do not have masks. and
They'll have them by Thursday.
They have them tonight.
Oh, I need to.
All right, anything else? So we have approval of the, anybody want to approve the minutes?
You have them there? Where are they?
March 3rd.
March 3rd?
I'll make a motion to approve the public and non-public
Right.
minutes as written for March 3rd, 2020.
I have the non-public in here for the board to sign, okay?
Do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
Larry?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Kate?
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 I abstain. I couldn't hear anything.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
All right,
That one.
so that was the minutes. I think my computer's died here, so I think that was it. Anything else that we need to cover tonight? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
At 8:11 PM, I second.
All right, so we will see everybody at our next meeting. Thank you.
Matt, we don't sign that one.